World's 26 richest people own as much as poorest 50%, says Oxfam.
Here's a summary of the article.
The growing concentration of the world's wealth has been highlighted by a report showing that the 26 richest billionaires own as many assets as the 3.8 billion people who make up the poorest half of the planet's population. In an annual wealth check released to mark the start of the World Economic Forum in Davos, the development charity Oxfam said 2018 had been a year in which the rich had grown richer and the poor poorer. The 12% increase in the wealth of the very richest contrasted with a fall of 11% in the wealth of the poorest half of the world's population. As a result, the report concluded, the number of billionaires owning as much wealth as half the world's population fell from 43 in 2017 to 26 last year. The way our economies are organized means wealth is increasingly and unfairly concentrated among a privileged few while millions of people are barely subsisting. Women are dying for lack of decent maternity care and children are being denied an education that could be their route out of poverty. No one should be condemned to an earlier grave or a life of illiteracy simply because they were born poor. Oxfam said governments needed to do more to fund high-quality, universal public services through tackling tax dodging and ensuring fairer taxation, including on corporations and the richest individuals' wealth, which it said were often undertaxed. Oxfam said its methodology for assessing the gap between rich and poor was based on global wealth distribution data provided by the Credit Suisse Global Wealth Data Book, covering the period from June 2017 to June 2018.
This post received a score of 35,161, with an upvote ratio of 87%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
If you include their family holdings, it's even way more.
I want the list of names. Who are they? Is the Forbes richest whatever list going to name these 26 people? Because we should identify who exactly they are. Edit, 2018 Forbes Billionaire List 1. Larry Ellison $58.5 billion. Who are the other 16? Also unsure if the Koch brothers are worth $120 billion or $60 billion together.
Definitely not the Forbes list, they don't include people like the Rothschilds and royalty.
See. There are people rich enough to keep themselves off the publicly available rich lists. I want to know more about these folks.
With that kind of money you can build a huge propaganda machine and call it a news network.
Only 6 corporations own 90% of the media in America. Makes sense.
One of these days Disney will bribe the entire U.S. Congress and have them remove anti-monopoly laws. Then Disney will proceed to buy out every other corporation. Then finally, America will be renamed to Disneyland. There's probably already a Simpsons episode about this, isn't there?
What if I told you Apple has enough cash to buy Disney?
Going to need a source on that one. Disney is massive. Edit, mind blown. I knew Apple was a larger valued company by a large amount. But they do in fact appear to have enough in cash, not assets, to theoretically just buy Disney entirely.
Disney market cap. Apple cash on hand. Note that buying huge amounts of stock like that will cause the stock price to go up, consequentially increasing the cost to do the takeover, but Apple could still probably pull it off.
If you are doing a takeover with a significant amount of shares required, you set a fixed price to buy the shares at.
There is more than one way to do a takeover. Remember, enough people need to be willing to sell the stock in order for the takeover to go through. If the board and major shareholders resist the takeover, then you have to start buying what's on the open market, jacking up the price, and enough shares may not trade to allow this strategy to even be viable. Having even 2x the market cap of a company in cash in and of itself doesn't mean Apple, or anyone else, could just buy Disney. Oxfam said governments needed to do more to fund high-quality, universal public services through tackling tax dodging and ensuring fairer taxation, including on corporations and the richest individuals' wealth, which it said were often undertaxed.
That doesn't make tons of sense in context. The world's richest people and the world's poorest people don't live in the same countries generally.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smry.com, without any human intervention.